welcome back. I thought I would come to you live today. Well, I guess not live. I am coming to you today with a tag that the lovely Carolyn tagged me. It is the 20 questions tag? 20 questions book tag. Very original name. No, I'm kidding. No hate to whoever created this. I'm not about to start a roast here. So yeah, I figured I would answer these questions and have a good time doing it. So enjoy. Okay, the first one. How many books are too many for a series? This is gonna be a very anticlimactic answer because truth be told, I don't know. Like, I would say maybe like more than 5 is probably like overkill, but the series that I've read usually just have 3 books in them, and that's so a trilogy essentially. I haven't read anything that goes on for like a long period of time, or that spans several books. Sorry, not a long period of time. That spans several books. So yeah, I don't have a good answer for the first question just because I don't really read books like that. So yeah, I don't know. But I'd say probably like more than 5 is probably like, okay, like I want to know what happens here. Like I'm kind of moving on. Oh, you know what? Actually, no. This is like when I was in high school. I remember I read the Pretty Little Liars books when I was like in grade 8 or 9. And I remember those books like up to, I literally think after the 4th book, I just gave up because I was like, you know what? Like, I don't even care anymore. Like, whoever A is, like, I'm just going to read it on Reddit and see who the hell this A person is because I am just not invested enough. I'm kind of fed up with this tease, perpetual tease, because honestly, I feel like there must have been like 15 books, Pretty Little Liar books, that I was just like so over it that I was like, forget it. Like, I don't even care. So yeah. I would say definitely like more than 4 or 5 is just like, you're gonna lose your audience, sister. Whoever is writing this is just like gonna lose 1 or 2 people along the way. But yeah, unless it's really good, and then I guess it just can go on forever, I guess, right? But even with TV shows, like we all know that after like the 3rd season or 4th season, if we're lucky, things start to go downhill. It's just not the same. So yeah, short and sweet is the way to go, in my opinion. Okay, the next one. How do you feel about cliffhangers? I like them. Yep. I like them. Sometimes they annoy me. Sometimes I'm like, ugh, but why can't they just wrap it up in a nice little bow? But then when I do get endings that are like wrapped in a nice little bow, I'm just like, that was so unrealistic. That's just so stupid. Like, that's not how real life works. Or that also annoys me. So yes to cliffhangers, yes to A, keeping me wanting more, and B, trying to come up with my own scenario of how the story would have wrapped up, or the resolution, I guess you could say. So yeah, I'm all for them actually. Number 3, hardcover or paperback? Oh, definitely paperback. I love folding the book. I love like a nice bendy, flexible cover. Also, the thing with paperbacks, hardcover, this is just the book that I just happened to be reading. I hate when this happens. You know what I mean? Like you're reading it and it's just like, no. It's just messy and it's really annoying. You know what I mean though? Like you're reading it and these, what are these called? Not dog ears. I don't even know, but you know what I mean? It's just like floppy and it gets all over the place, and you constantly have to be like rearranging the book and making sure you're not getting anything, you know, folding weird, and it's just kind of a pain. Like, just give me the paperback, you know what I mean? But then I get impatient, and then I don't want to wait like a year and a bit to get the paperback, so I end up just buying the hardcover anyway and just struggling through. So there's honestly no winning. But anyway, okay. Favorite book? Oh God, that's not a very good question. I'm just gonna pick like a recent favorite. I think I'm just gonna make it easy on myself because I don't know like what my like all-time favorite, actually maybe A Little Life. Like, no book has ever impacted me like that book did. But if we want to narrow it down, like I was saying, a recent favorite of mine, what have I read recently that I just like really liked? Braiding Sweetgrass was really amazing. A History of My Brief Body was also beautiful. So I don't know. I mean, those are just like some recent-ish, actually no, because Braiding Sweetgrass I read like a while ago. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like any book I've talked about recently, like I've really enjoyed. My March wrap up, like all of those books, I thought were amazing. So I guess I just gave you no answer, but I guess for an easy answer, I guess I did say A Little Life, so I'll stick with it. Okay, least favorite book. Least favorite book. I'm not even gonna look up there because all the books, I've purposefully gotten rid of books that I read and just didn't like. Let me just go on my Goodreads and see what I've like 1-starred. Okay, I'm back. I wouldn't say this is my least favorite because I just couldn't tell you, but this is a recent book that I read that I didn't like, that I honestly should have just DNF'd, but I just wanted to, I was hopeful. You know what I mean? Like I really wanted to like it and I just hated it. And it was called We Cast a Shadow by Maurice Carlos Ruffin, I don't know. And the premise was just so good that I went into it really excited and interested in the story. And basically it follows, it's kind of like this dystopian world where you can get what they call reconstruction surgery to change the color of your skin. And so we follow a dad who is Black, who marries a white woman, and they have a kid. And the kid is pretty like white passing, but he has this big, pretty dark birthmark on his face. And so the dad is a lawyer, and he's trying to get promoted so that he can get a bonus to pay for this reconstruction surgery and have his whole face be like white. But the kid is really against this, and so is the white mom. And there's a lot of tension. Obviously, it's a huge commentary on race, class, our obsession with beauty ideals, and racism, segregation. The whole city is like segregated into different areas that certain people are allowed to go and certain people are denied access. And so it talks about class. Anyways, like I'm saying, I'm obviously butchering the explanation of this book because I read it a little bit ago and I don't quite remember everything, but as you can tell, like it sounds kind of interesting, right? Like you'd be like, oh, that, you know, I'd be down to read that. And then you read it and the whole time it's just like so badly executed, and I just felt like the story was lacking so much depth, and it could have been so good that it almost just made me angry that the author kind of just like butchered the whole thing. Anyways, I'm being really harsh, and apologies if, you know, people have read this and loved it, but I just didn't love it. I really didn't. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna pick for that question. It's not like my least favorite book, but it's just one that I read recently that I was just like, nope, not for me. Okay, number 6. Love triangles, yes or no? Abso-friggin-lutely yes. I don't read a lot of romance, or I guess you don't even have to be reading like a romance novel to have a triangle, but in any book that I read that there's like some tension or some even just like a platonic 3-way situation, I'm all for it. So yeah, for sure. I guess I also talked about a recent love triangle, or no, I read that book a long time ago, but I recently spoke about The Heart Goes Last by Margaret Atwood, and that book has a really compelling love triangle, and it just made the story so juicy and good. So yes, for sure. 7, the most recent book you couldn't finish. I'm not one to DNF books. Maybe I should get in the habit of doing that, but I'm very intentional with the books that I buy. So most books, like 9 out of 10 times when I buy books, it's because I've done research on them and I'm pretty certain that I'm gonna like, so I don't really DNF. I guess I should, because I feel like I should have DNF'd the We Cast a Shadow book, and I would have saved myself like a day of just like shitty reading. But yeah, I don't really DNF books, so I can't tell you what was the last book I didn't read or didn't finish, because I don't think that's ever been a thing. A book you're currently reading. On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous. I'm doing my buddy read with Ben, and he's been super patient with me because I've been shitty about reading because of my test. So, but we're getting there and we're loving it. Every moment of every page, we've enjoyed it. Okay. The last book you recommended to someone, probably Love After the End. What else have I recommended to folks at work? Lot, I recommended to somebody. Sorry, that was such a long pause. Yeah, Love After the End, Lot. That's pretty much everything that's coming to mind. Now we're talking like in real life, because I guess the last cluster of books I recommended to all of you lovely people was my all the books I talked about / like raved about during my March wrap up. So yeah. Okay. Oldest book you've read by publication date? Like 1984 maybe? Like I don't really read any like classics. I hate to say it, but yeah, I guess that's like the oldest book I've read as of late. Or maybe an Ursula Le Guin book. I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea. Favorite author? I mean, I'm just gonna list some like authors that I like off the top of my head, like Maria Carmen Machado I really like, Ursula Le Guin, Joshua Whitehead. Yeah, I guess we'll leave it at that. Wait, did I say? No, it's Carmen Maria Machado. I think I messed up her middle name and her first name. Apologies if you're watching this, Carmen. Okay, number 13, buying books or borrowing books? Well, now that I'm a library gal, I'm gonna say borrowing. A book you dislike that everyone seems to love. You all are gonna hate me for this. Like, I almost don't want to say it because this is like a booktube favorite, and for me it just did not live up to the hype, and that has to be real life. I'm sorry. Like, I'm so sorry. I know that book is like ferociously loved by many of my favorite booktubers, but like it just didn't do it for me. I felt like the whole time I was like, you need to get better friends. All of these people are assholes. The book did a really great job of like illustrating microaggressions and the like sometimes subliminal racism that people of color experience in the US. Like, I think the book did that beautifully, but I just felt like we were just kind of thrust into the story because the whole book takes place in a weekend in these characters' lives. So I just felt like I didn't really understand, or I guess the author didn't really like tell us very much about like the relationship between the main character and everyone else in his life. Like, I wish there was like more like build up and like world building, I guess you could say, that I just didn't feel like the book had. Like, it just felt like kind of rushed, and I didn't really, yeah, I don't know. I think I would have to think a little bit more to express my feelings as to like why I didn't love that book. But yeah, just something about it did not work for me, and I hate to say it. I really do. But yeah, sorry guys. I don't know. Maybe I'll reread it with different eyes. I don't know. Actually, I can't because I gave it away. Yikes. Sorry. Okay. Bookmark or dog ears? Definitely bookmark. God, I'm not some crazy person. A book you can always reread. I never reread. The only book that I've reread recently was Between the World and Me, but that was only because I read some of it for school and then I just decided to reread it again recently. So that's literally the only book I can think of that I've reread as of recently. Can you read while listening to music? For sure. You put on some lo-fi beats, some instrumental rainy jazz music on YouTube. Make sure it says rainy because you hear like the nice like pitter patter of like rain sounds. It's always really nice. So yeah, for sure. I can't do music, like songs that I know or songs with like singing or like words or anything because that's just too distracting. So, but yes to lo-fi beats and the rainy jazz playlist on YouTube that goes on for like 8 hours. Amazing. You know what's even better? To click on the one that has like a crackling fireplace. So I put it up on my TV and I light some candles and I turn on my nice mood light and oh my God, that's like optimal reading circumstances. So check it out. Highly recommend. One point of view or multiple. Oh, I'm good with either. I don't really have a preference. I've read some great books with just like a singular point of view and multiple voices, and I've enjoyed them all the same. Do you read a book in one sitting or over multiple days? I dabble in both. If I have a lot of time or if I'm working and it's a slow day, I can easily read a whole book, no problem. But obviously if it's like a chunkier book or I'm doing other things, then definitely multiple days. So it really just depends. Okay, so the last question is who do I tag? And I'm gonna say that I'm gonna tag my baes, Ben and Rebecca. I'd love to see what you guys have to say. And I feel like Rebecca hasn't read Real Life, so I am saved. But I was gonna say, I'm sure she's maybe gonna roast me for not liking a Real Life, but just kidding. Okay, I don't want to see Sarah from String Bean Books, although maybe they've already done it. I don't think so though. At least I haven't watched it. And I'd love to see Dee do this from Herman's Corner. And anyone else, thank you so much, Carolyn, for tagging me. This was very fun. I hope my answers didn't disappoint people too much, especially the Real Life one. But yeah, just gotta speak my truth. Okay guys, I will see you all soon and I hope you like this video.